Are you ready, Monarchs fans? It's time for the Old Dominion Football Show with Bruce Rader and Coach Bobby Wilder.
Week 2 as the Monarchs travel to Boone, North Carolina to take on one of the hottest teams in college football. After taking Tennessee into overtime, Appalachian State had already proved to be the pride of the Sun Belt. The Mountaineers continued their momentum with an impressive win over ODU, and things don't get any easier tomorrow when the Monarchs travel to NC State. So what should we expect? Let's find out. The Old Dominion Football Show starts now. I'm Bruce Rader along with Coach Bobby Wilder. As I mentioned, Coach, you played a very, very good Appalachian State team, a better outcome than last year. So what do you take away from that game?
I felt going in, Bruce, they were the most complete team we had played in 8 years of football, and I still feel that way with defensively, offensively, special teams. And early in the season, Bruce, you're trying to gauge who you are, but you're trying to gauge your opponents. And when you look at App State, up by 10 on Tennessee in the second half 2 weeks ago, beat Virginia Tech by 3 touchdowns. Tennessee does this past week, so that tells you App State's really good. And then I look at it and I say, we're pretty good. If we get off to a better start in this game, Bruce, the second half, we dominated them defensively. They had 50 yards in the first 25 minutes of the second half. They scored their only touchdown in the second half when the twos were in on both sides of the ball. So that was very frustrating. It was frustrating for our players and for all of us, but there's a lot of good things we take out of this game.
And as I mentioned, it doesn't get any easier. Tomorrow, boom, back on the road against NC State, which lost to undefeated East Carolina by 3 points. The Wolfpacks with several missed opportunities.
Right.
So they're going to be hungry for a win, and they're going to want to take it out on you guys.
Bring it on. We'll be 3 touchdown underdogs, Bruce, going there. We already know that. There'll be 57,000 people, which will be the largest crowd we've ever played in front of, which is great. I love that attitude. If we can finish things off in the red zone, Bruce, on offense, get off to a better start. Defensively, the goal would be that this would be a one-possession game in the fourth quarter, and that's our goal going down there. Let's make this a fourth quarter game. They're coming off a close loss. Let's get them thinking about that in the fourth quarter.
In addition to putting together your game plan, do you have to coach the crowd to get your guys ready for the biggest crowd they've ever played in front of?
No, not at all, Bruce. The kids are so excited for this because remember, most of these players wanted to be at a Power 5 school, and they come to Old Dominion, and now there's that chip on their shoulder to go prove they belong there. We were there 2 years ago, Bruce. We're in the second quarter. We're up 21-10. We're going into score to go up 28-10. I had to hold them back in the locker room before the game coming out of the tunnel. They were ready to run me over, so we'll be excited to go.
All right, NC State loses last week after missing 2 field goals, and you get some bad news this week about your kicker.
Yeah, it was really disappointing to get the news on Chris Kirtley, a true sophomore. He was 11 for 14 last year and this year on field goals, 4 for 5 from 45 yards. And, you know, it's part of football. Injuries happen, so he's going to have surgery. He'll be done for the season. Bailey Kate, who's our starting punter, the only true freshman who's playing right now, Bruce, been playing well for 2 weeks. He's also a very good kicker. So Bailey will handle the extra points, field goals, and punting, and we'll still have Brad Davis do the kickoffs. And Bailey was really good this week in practice. His range goes up to somewhere between 40 and 45 yards. We didn't have him kicking before, Bruce, extra points, field goals, because we just wanted him to punt. You know, we thought Kirtley would be good, but now he's got to do a couple things for us, and he'll do a good job.
All right, so a year ago, this kid was kicking in front of like maybe 600 or 700 people on Friday nights at his high school, and now he's going to have to perhaps come up with a big kick in front of 57,000 people. Come on, Coach, you got a psychiatrist?
It's a dream come true.
I guess so. All right, on the positive side, linebacker Anthony Wilson was named the Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week, 11 tackles last week. Boy, is he having a good year.
Yeah, really proud of Anthony. He's our leading tackler. Bruce, a lot of people don't know he's a walk-on. He's from Alexandria, Virginia, played at Hayfield High School, initially went to Marshall out of high school and then transferred to us as a walk-on, earned a scholarship 2 years ago, and leading tackler right now, had 3 sacks in the game, Bruce, along with the 11 tackles to be the conference defensive player of the year. And you're proud of your kids, but you're even more proud of kids that had to battle adversity early in their careers. You know, it didn't work for him at Marshall. He comes to Old Dominion, he's got to walk on, he's got to pay, and now all of a sudden, Bruce, good things were happening. I always tell the kids, if you're a good person, you make good choices, do the right things, these are the things that can happen to you. And these are the great lessons that football teaches.
And to get that honor in a losing effort is even more impressive.
Very
On
hard,
offense, Ray Lowry, the baby bull, they are calling him now, celebrated
Yeah.
his 20th birthday with 119 yards and a touchdown against a very good defense.
He did, Bruce, and he was about 75% in this game. If you noticed the second play of the game, he busted out a run. Normally that would have been an 80-yard touchdown. He got 42 on the play, and then he stepped out of bounds because he just couldn't open it up Saturday. He couldn't get in that fifth gear to outrun people. So he had 119 yards. He's healthy. Could have been more. We held him back a little bit this week, Bruce, because anytime you strain a hamstring, particularly when you're an explosive player like Ray is, you got to rest it. So I'm hoping that he'll be back close to 100% by game time.
All right, let's talk about the quarterback position. David Washington is your starter, but you also have a couple of very capable players on the bench, including Schuler Bentley. In your opinion, how is David progressing?
I'm pleased with David right now. He's averaging 200 yards a game of offense, and most importantly, Bruce, he's only turned the ball over one time. He's got 4 touchdown passes. 1 interception. The interception Saturday, Bruce, was a tough one. It's 4th down. He's putting it in the end zone to Melvin Vaughn. Melvin broke in. David thought he was going to break out. It was really a gift to the defensive back. What he's got to do is get a little more comfortable with his feet, Bruce, in the pocket. For anybody that watched the game Saturday, particularly in the first quarter, App State was a 3-down, 4 linebacker team, like a lot of the pro teams play. Everybody else we play is a 4-down, so it's like flipping a page for the kids. They had to learn something different, and he was just never comfortable with the protection in the first quarter. Played better as it went along. Here's what a lot of people are missing with David, Bruce, because you watch him play and you think, wow, this guy's good. Saturday will be, he's a 5th-year player at Old Dominion. Saturday will be his 7th career start at quarterback.
Wow.
Yeah, he started 4 games last year. This will be his 3rd this year. So he's still growing into the position. He's going to get a lot better.
All right, well, you think that was pressure last week? Still to come on the Old Dominion Football Show. David Washington is hoping to end his senior season on a high note, but he's got to enter the 1-minute drill with Brian Parsons one last time. The ODU show continues. Don't go away.
All right, welcome back to the Old Dominion Football Show, the 1-minute drill. We have quarterback turned wide receiver turned back to quarterback, resident clown of the locker room, David Washington. David, it's a consensus for the last 5 years. Everybody says you are the biggest jokester on the team. Why is that?
I think they're lying. I'm not a jokester at all. I don't know where they get it from. They're full of it. I don't know where it comes from.
So all of them, all the players that make these accusations, it's not true.
None of it's true. I'm not a jokester at all.
We got Zach Pascal over here. Come here.
Biggest jokester of the team, David Washington, number 10. Biggest jokester on the team, I promise.
It's not true.
David's playing it cool. That's okay. Who's the biggest prankster on the team?
Prankster. Probably Zach. Zach Pascal. He's a prankster. Every day he's always getting somebody with some type of prank. I mean, just the other day he taped somebody's whole locker. He put tape on it so they couldn't get their stuff out of their locker. I was wow, Zach. It was crazy.
Favorite athlete growing up?
Growing up, my favorite athlete was Allen Iverson and Michael Vick. But I wanted to play basketball, so it was Allen Iverson.
All right, David Washington, I guess you passed the 1-minute drill. Say goodbye to the Monarch Nation.
Goodbye, Monarch Nation. See y'all Saturday.
How about that? Is he a prankster or not?
Oh,
Come
he
on.
is. He's a prankster, a jokester, a character, the whole thing. I think he was messing with Brian right there.
I think he was. And back to the quarterbacks again. You got to keep David healthy through this game going into the conference schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. This defensive line from North Carolina, from all the scouts that I've talked to, Bruce, that come to our practice, and because we've got some really good seniors, we get all the NFL teams there. And I always ask them about future opponents, and they say this defensive line might be the best defensive line in the ACC this year. They think they might be better than Florida State and Clemson. So it's going to be imperative we're doing some stuff to get the ball out of his hands quickly.
A lot of pressure on the O-line tomorrow. Still to come, send me your questions at bruce.rader@wavy.com as we look ahead to tomorrow's game against NC State and dig into the email. The Coach's Corner, next on the Old Dominion Football Show. Time for the Coach's Corner. Remember, send your questions to bruce.rader@wavy.com. Our first question, Coach, is from Aaron in Hampton. What is the philosophy of having the team stay together in a hotel the night before the home games?
2 words, Aaron. 2 words. College campus.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah, it's about, we get them together, meetings, we eat together, but a Friday night on a college campus, Bruce, I don't care where you are in America, the kids want to blow off a little steam, they want to have some fun. And
Distraction.
yeah, they're trying to sleep when the music's cranked up to 10, so that's the biggest reason. Thanks for the question, Aaron.
And a little bit of camaraderie.
That too, that's a big
All right.
part of it, yes sir.
Next question is from Mickey in Norfolk. Has anyone on your staff shown David Washington video of RG3 getting injured to reinforce the idea of getting out of bounds to avoid an unnecessary injury?
Yeah, good question by Mickey. I'm not sure if maybe this question came in before the App game, but in the Appalachian State game, David was excellent. He got up the field, Bruce, got yardage, got down right before contact. He did a really good job. There were 4 or 5 times, Bruce, he couldn't get out of bounds, so he had to get down before the defenders got to him, and he got forward, got positive yardage. So I was really pleased with how David protected himself in this game.
Because in this day and age, even though you want all of your players to be aggressive,
right,
the quarterback is the key.
Absolutely.
And you have to keep him healthy. And it may not have been that way 10 years ago.
Yeah, anybody who says, Bruce, that every position is equally important in football, I would disagree with, because your quarterback, it's number one, it's hard to stay healthy because everybody's trying to hit them all the time. And as much as they can protect themselves is going to help the team. And David really took to the talk about how valuable he is to the team for the entire season and did a great job in this game getting down.
All right, before we get kicked out of here, what are the key things the Monarchs have to do to beat NC State tomorrow?
Get off to a good start in the first quarter, Bruce. If we get off to a good start in the Appalachian State game, that's a football game. That's number one, Bruce. That's got to happen. We can't give up a 50-yard play on the first play. 2 games in a row, we've done that. If we do that, Bruce, handle the crowd. If we can get this to a fourth quarter game, I like our opportunities.
All right. Coach, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you, Bruce.
Old
Appreciate it.
Dominion against NC State, 6 o'clock in Raleigh, then back home to play Conference USA, San Antonio. Join us every Friday night here on Fox 43 for the Old Dominion Football Show. Have a great weekend, everybody.